everyone, I am Vishnu Lope Hari Srivastava. Today I am going to deliver the second part of my lecture, Hardy's Philosophy of Life. In my previous lecture, I had laid emphasis on various factors which helped Hardy mature into an ardent pessimist. In course of my discussion, I had come to the conclusion that Hardy owed his allegiance to Greek tragedians Sophocles, Euripides and Aeschylus, and 19th century German philosopher Schopenhauer, who brought about a vital change in his ideology and helped him and also successfully granted a sense of discontent in his psyche. I have concluded my discussion after having a discussion on the impact of Darwin's theory of evolution on Victorian society. The impact of this theory was so intense on Victorian society that it created a ripple on the placid atmosphere of Victorian society. The mental equilibrium of the people was completely disturbed. The sense of disarray or discontent gripped the society. Order and system and harmony and tranquility of the society was completely jeopardized. The aftershocks of the tremors were experienced outside the boundary of England. It extended its hydra-headed tentacles to engulf the entire Europe well within its ambit. The differences emerged or surfaced in the relationship between science and religion were somehow subdued. The sense of discontent partially subsided in the relationship between the warring factions, science and religion, following an understanding reached between them. It was agreed upon that religion will continue to serve as a guiding force, and people will continue to just follow the commands of religion without showing any discontent or showing any dissatisfaction with it. But science gained the lion's share in this agreement or the understanding reached between the two. Its credibility was recognized for the first time, which was long overdue. Besides that, it was accepted as a parallel force running side by side with religion. Although the sense of doubt which was generated by science with regard to the credibility of religion and the existence of God was not subsided completely. It lied buried in the unconscious self of the Victorian people, which found a conducive atmosphere in the 20th century, which it also found a fertile ground in the 20th century to germinate, which is the full flowering of which is noticed in the various schools of thoughts which originated in the 20th century, which include existentialism, nihilism, and absurdism, and various other schools of thoughts which generated or which emerged in course of time. Hardy's contemporary 19th century German philosopher Nietzsche also shared an identical view with him, saying God is dead. He accorded divine quality to his new species, Superman, to fill the gap left vacant following the ouster of God from the scene. In the same way, 19th century German philosopher Kierkegaard also came out with these ideas in his writing. He was of the opinion that nervousness or sense of doubt or anxiety or worry gripped the modern people. He was locked in such a peculiar circumstances that it is very difficult for him to come out with these shackles. They imprisoned man into them them, and it is very difficult for an individual to come out successfully from these cycles. And all his efforts, he tries his level best, and even makes certain changes in his approach or in his personality, even uses some artificial methods or approach to life in order to overcome the challenges posed by these forces. But finally he is made victim, he is made prey to the efforts or to the strength or to the power which is generated by these forces, and he has succumbed to their fate. He doesn't have the capability to overcome their challenges, and he finally realizes that their entire life is overshadowed by these forces, and finally he comes to the conclusion that it's impossible to come out from these nervousness or anxiety and worry, and which finally help him develop a sense of worthlessness about their life, or he doesn't see any meaning or any purpose, he doesn't notice any meaning or any purpose in life. So this is all about the theory of which Kierkegaard has propagated, and what is more important, that what Kierkegaard has prophesied in the 19th century was carried out in the same manner by his successors like Jean-Paul Sartre and Heidegger in their existentialist ideas which they carried out in the 20th century. In the same way, if we come across the absurdist dramatist Samuel Beckett's drama Waiting for Godot, we undergo the same experience. His characters wait for God to descend to the earth to provide a solution, an amicable solution to the problems they are locked in. They are of the opinion that God will definitely come to look into their problems and to provide an alternative to the problem which they are locked in or which they are indulged in. But they waited and waited for God, but God doesn't come to their rescue. In this way, the worthlessness of life is revealed. It appears that there is no meaning, there is no purpose. Purpose in life, it is worthless. It has not got any significance. In the same way, if we go through the novels of French dramatists Albert Camus and Kafka, we recognize the same worthlessness or seriousness or anxiety or sense of worry or discontent or doubt which grip their dramas, grip their novels right from the beginning. In the midst of Sisyphus of Kafka, we notice that the master suggesting his servant to take the rock to the top and bring him down to the bottom, and he suggested him to indulge in the same business repeatedly, and it is suggested that the person is indulged in the same process without making any hindrance. So the question crop up to our mind: what's the purpose of carrying the rock to the top and bringing it down to the bottom? It doesn't signify any meaning, and this also hints at the worthlessness of life, which Thomas Hardy has much earlier discussed or propagated through his novels. So what I want to suggest, that the theme of discontent or doubt, which Thomas Hardy has discussed through his novel, saying that fate and chance intervenes or come in the middle, and they spoil the entire process, entire game plan of the individual. It means that God proposes, he wants to convey the message that God proposes, man proposes, and God disposes. So actually, it's a global problem. It's not a problem which Thomas Hardy has encountered. Rather, it has started taking shape during the middle of the 19th century in the writing of Thomas Hardy. But gradually, it emerged as a global problem. It crossed all the boundaries. It not only just extended its boundary to Europe. Rather, it engulfs the entire globe, entire world well within its ambit. And in the first 2 decades of 20th century, we find that most of the thinkers are indulged in this basic existentialist problem, how to overcome the challenges posed by chance, fate, or the anxiety, or the nervousness, or the worry, or the sense of discontent, or which we grapple with. The basic difference between Thomas Hardy and the modern thinkers is that the terminology. The difference lies in the terminology used by the two. Otherwise, they communicate the identical ideas through their works. Thomas Hardy was communicating the same idea through his novels. In the same way, the existentialist philosophers of the absurdist philosopher or nihilist philosophers are just propagating the same way in this through their ideology. The difference lies between the two because of the proximity of Thomas Hardy to the countryside. He was very much associated with the countryside, and the people associated with the countryside doesn't have an idea about seriousness or sense of doubt or nervousness or anxiety or fear, sense of fear or worry or doubt. All these they don't come across. They seldom encounter all these ideas, and this is the reason why there is a difference in their ideology, in their temperament, and in the difference in the terminology. Besides this, we don't see any change. So because of the proximity of the countryside, or because of his growing association with the romantic ideas, particularly those of Wordsworth, Thomas Hardy seems to have developed an association with fate and chance. So what Hardy called fate and chance, the modern absurdist or existentialist philosopher called nervousness or anxiety or sense of fear and doubt. And in this way, we come to the conclusion that the problem of Thomas Hardy was not the problem of an individual novelist, rather it is the problem of the entire society, entire world, from the second half of the 19th century, or the full flowering of which is noticed in the writings of the first 2 decades of the 20th century. So in this way, I can conclude that Thomas Hardy was visionary in the sense that he had a vision in the second half of the 20th century what the novelists or the thinkers just contemplated way ahead in the 20th century. Thank you. So please subscribe my channel and tap the bell icon for my next channel.